Here we are, one human family. To the moon, one human family. On to Mars, one human family. Jupiter, one human family. Asteroids, one human family. To the, Saturn's rings, yep. Uranus, yep. Neptune, yep. Pluto, yep. Pluto, yep. Kuiper Belt, yep. One human family. To the Earth, one human family. To the Moon, one human family. Asteroids, Jupiter, Uranus, Kuiper Belt, Oort Cloud, Interstellar, all the way around the universe. Here we are, one human family. Greetings and salutations. Man, I love that song. It just makes me feel good. I hope you all are doing great today, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Mongo, and I'm an astronaut teacher. I'm not an asteroids teacher, I'm an astronaut teacher. This is Mike Mongo's Astronaut Adventures. Pow. How you like me now? Hey, Gimbal. Wake up, little robot, wake up. Greetings and salutations. You made it, I made it. We are all here with one goal in mind, and that is, how can I grow up to live, work, and play in space? My name is Mike Mongo, and I am an astronaut teacher. You are, what's your name? Astronaut student? That's what you are. You are going to be one of the first next generation to grow up to live, work, and play in space. And you're not even going to have to do it in the way that everybody else had to fight for it. Because just because of the time that you are living in right now, your opportunities to grow up to live, work, and play in space are completely different than everyone else's. And that's really important. I hope you had a great weekend. I had a really terrific weekend, I gotta tell you. We were broadcasting live from Spaceship Studio. You know, I started this show three months ago. Astronaut Adventures. We started this YouTube channel 3 months ago, strictly because of quarantine, because of the pandemic. And then I'm in Los Angeles, beautiful downtown Sherman Oaks, Spaceship Studios. And then it was like everything was going to reopen. Now we're back. It looks like quarantine is coming back, which is really interesting. Remember we had the episode about shifting, about not being upset with what life gives you, but with rolling with the punches. There's a saying, rolling with the punches, about taking what the moment is bringing to you and just being true to it, being honest to it, giving ourselves to whatever the moment provides for us. And sometimes that's not the thing we want. Let's see, adjust that a little bit. Sometimes that's not the thing we really, really want. That's the thing, that's what we got, which is different necessarily than what we want. I don't think that anybody wants quarantine right now. I'm certain that nobody wanted pandemic. I'm sure of that. And yet here we are. Cough in your sleeve. Pow. And here we are. And the thing about it is that this whole thing is about kind of making, it's better than making the best of a bad situation. It's making good of what life gives us. So I don't know what's going on where you are. Students message me all the time on all these different platforms. All the time. and all kinds of different situations in your life all the time. It happens all over the place. And sometimes people think they have a difficult situation, and when in fact the situation is not so bad. And that's called perspective. When the students message me about the different things going on in your life, I get to give them perspective. Like I've got people, it's so funny that I've got people living in all kinds of different situations, that you live in all kinds of different situations. Sometimes, believe it or not, you live in a cave. You live in a cave and you're a professional. You live in a cave and you're a professional. This is a real situation that I'm managing right now. And here's what I mean by managing, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Is that I get to give instruction or advice or suggestion or recommendation or encouragement on how to manage these situations. How to, if there's struggle, if there's strife, if there is difficulty, if there is obstacle, if there's problem, students, you reach out to me and say, not just how can I be an astronaut, but how can I be an astronaut despite or regardless of, or what does despite mean? Despite means even with my circumstances. How can I be a person who is a space professional, even with the circumstances of your life, of my life, of our life? And sometimes our life is more difficult than other times. Sometimes you are having a really bad time in life, really difficult time. Sometimes it's not even that it's really bad. It's just that there's an obstacle in your way and it is blocking you from your goal. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just an obstacle. Sometimes it's something that you yourself alone don't seem to be able to find the resources, the means to figure out on your own. And sometimes it's even the people around you that you have in your life aren't getting what is causing you challenge. So what do we do then? How do I help you then? And here's how I do it. I mentor. Are you familiar with this word right here, mentor? Do you know what a mentor is? You know, I was in college before I understood what a mentor was. And thank goodness for mentors in my life. Mentors are people who saw something special inside of me and encouraged it. They nurtured it. They took me on as a responsibility, and then they helped me, and then they helped me to find the solutions to the challenges I was facing. The challenges I was facing to get right here to have this dialogue with you. The challenges I was facing, the challenges I was facing in my life that would prevent me from having this conversation with you. They could be just challenges of communication. Do you know I have friends who stutters, and it's not a problem. Some of my family members stutter. And I'm used to having people in my life who stutter. It does not affect me badly. And yet for my brother who stutters, it has been embarrassing. And now he's a grown person like me, and he just rolls with it. He rolls with it. And a lot of times it's interesting. When he's finding himself in a situation where he stutters, he'll look for a different word to express the exact same thing. In the same way, like when I was finding a word for the word despite. And there are challenges that I have faced. Communicating, getting through to you, reaching out and seeing you even from right here. That's not, I didn't come that way. I had important people in my life. These guys, these ones, women and men and women, who mentored me to make me the person I am today, to make me the successful educator I am today, to make me the astronaut teacher I am today. There's no way, even 20 years ago, which is maybe twice as old as you, But being 55, that's almost three times my life 20 years ago. There's no way. 10 years ago, I was skeptical about being an astronaut teacher. 10! But I had set my intention, and I had a mentor who explained to me that once I set my intention, remember we talked about intention last week? Once I set my intention and just proceeded after my goal one step at a time, one day at a time, I would accomplish a little bit, even a tiny bit. Because like if we have a bucket, an empty bucket, and every day we put in some drops of water, and as long as it's not evaporating, eventually that bucket's going to be overflowing. And that's what it was like achieving this goal of being an astronaut teacher. And that's what it's going to be like for you achieving whatever goal that you're after. When you're here with me today, when you're here, whatever, you're going to get whatever it is, whatever thing you're setting your mind to, whatever goal that you have attuned yourself to, that you have directed yourself to, you're going to get, as long as you pursue it, what we call diligently. That means with dedication and consistency. Now, there have been times when I backed away from astronaut teaching. Maybe I went on vacation. I've been on vacation before. In the last 13 years, I've been on vacation. So maybe I stopped thinking about astronaut teaching for a few days, or a week, or a month. Like I've done community service before where I was thinking about other people, not my future. I was thinking about helping people in that moment. Did that help this communication? Did it help me become an astronaut teacher? And it wasn't directly connected. Now, isn't that interesting? And here's how it helped. It helped develop my heart. It helped me care about you. It helped me care so much about you. Helping other people helped me care about you. Remember with the utility we're supposed to keep in our head? To get to your goal, I want you to always be thinking, how am I helping? Not how are you helping, Mike Mongo? How am I helping? I want you to think, how am I helping? And when I'm sharing that with you, that's mentoring. And that's because you care and I care, and we share that caring. We're sharing that. We're sharing the things that you care about. I care about what you care about. If you care about it, I care about it. You know how great it is, how wonderful it is to have somebody care about something as much as you, that are supporting your dreams and your visions and wants the universe to make itself work for you. It is terrific. It is one of the best things that we can do for somebody else. When you not just cheer somebody on, but ask the universe, support this person, support this person, support this person. And I want you to ask the universe for it to support you as well. I want you to give love to the universe, to everything. You can call it whatever you want. And you ask for that support from the universe. And you give it love in return. And that me having this communication with you and me explaining this little detail to you, this thing is mentoring. So right now we have a mentor relationship. You're a mentee and I'm a mentor. You're listening and I'm teaching. I'm sharing. And a lot of times you'll respond to me. I've got this Instagram page. I have Mike Mongo, astronaut teacher. A lot of students follow me on that one. You can go to Mike Mongo. I think I'm going to switch straight to Mike Mongo, just right to Mike Mongo, because I'd use this for my son Raphael and me and Ravon, and I think I'm going to bump this up. I think I'm going to go directly to this so that because I'm getting so many good conversations, I want to make it as simple as possible. And if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're not watching on YouTube, you can go to YouTube and just type in Mike Mongo and press subscribe, and it makes a big difference. And if you're one of those parents that really appreciates the work that I'm doing for your son, your daughter, your grandchild, your nephew, your niece, your hijo, hija, your neighbor who you think is awesome, your student, then you can go to MikeMongo.com and click on Buy Mike a Coffee, if you can, and buy Mike a coffee, because that helps the cause. I have to tell you the truth, I use it for like books and reading supplies. I mean, like school supplies and stuff like that. I really don't drink that much coffee. But if you buy me a coffee, it's a really thoughtful thing to do. So that helps out a lot. So when you message me on Instagram and send me a message and ask me the very particular question, it's so funny. How can I be an astronaut? And then I answer with, what is the thing that you want to do? I don't answer, how can I be an astronaut right off the bat? And the reason why is really simple. It is because we don't go from being a student, and this is mentoring right now. I'm doing this thing, mentor. If you don't have somebody like me in your life, you get to find somebody like me in your life. Somebody who cares about you and is interested in your learning. Somebody who is interested in learning as much as I am. Because see, when you learn, I learn. Nobody can teach unless they're learning. I do not teach without learning. You are teaching me right now. And I love learning so much that this relationship really works. And I'm giving you permission. I am encouraging you. I am instructing you, suggesting, promoting, pushing, encouraging you to have a mentor in your life. That can be a teacher, that can be a neighbor, that can be a relative, that can be somebody who you admire what success they have in their life. It's somebody whose life that you admire who they are as people. You know, some people, you just like who they are. I get to tell you about one of my main mentors in life. Now, it's funny because there's all kinds of different kinds of mentors. Some of the mentors in our life aren't even in our life. One of my mentors, and has been for a long time, is Will Smith, the actor. Now, Will and I only met once. We met at a Sega GameWorks in Seattle, I think in 94, so long ago. I mean, we both must have been really young. We were playing video games. And he was there and I was there and we had a chance to talk for maybe 10 minutes. And I was so impressed with him then that I've always kept my eye on Will Smith's career. And I like how he is as a person. I like a lot of his movies. I like what he brings, the expression and the professionalism he brings to his craft. His craft is being an actor. Now, it's funny, how is Will Smith one of my mentors when he and I don't talk? Because this is one type of mentor. You can pick somebody who you admire and whose life choices you admire, and you can let their life choices mentor you. So I look at Will Smith's life choices. I look at how what is it called? People say ethics and morals. I like his sense of right and wrong. I like Will Smith's sense. I like Will Smith's sense of right and wrong. And so I use that as one of my compasses. Like I can put a little thing in my head. Like some people said, what would Mike Mongo do? Like I say, what would Will Smith do? What would Mike Mongo do? When people say, what would Mike Mongo do? You know, it's the highest honor in the entire world. It makes me work harder at being as good as I can be. It makes me more considerate and more compassionate. And there's a reason for this. And it's because of one of the mentors in my life who is in my life, who I care about so much. And they know it. And their name, let me write it down. He's worth it. He's been in my life since I was a kid. This is my mentor. You know, much I love to write. Mr. B, quotation marks. People call him B. I don't call him B. I occasionally call him B. Mr. B. Johnson. Let me tell you, this man right here, I call him Mr. B and Mr. Johnson. He is A+ #1 in my book. Man, Mr. B. Johnson is my mentor. And I'm 55 and I have a mentor. And he started being my mentor maybe when I was 30. Long time ago. Like I said as a kid. Well, remember, I always tell you, I took a long time to grow up. I went and did a lot of adventuring. You know this because we've talked about it before. How I went to university for 13 years and I did the Army and I traveled the world and I started all these businesses and I did all of these things. Even before I decided to be an astronaut teacher, I brought those skills to the table. Well, Mr. B was around from way a long time ago. And one of the things he very first did is because when I was you, I was super skinny. I was super skinny. And people still say I'm skinny. And I was super skinny then. And it was my metabolism that just went like fire. And I was running and climbing and going up and down and doing stuff. And I was always really engaged and really active and just like, I would just be here and here and here and here. And I would just always be going. And B. Johnson would say, stop. What? Come over here and get something to eat. I am not kidding. That's what he would do. He saw me racing and he stopped my world. Made me look. He said, come here. Try this. And it would be fish, or it would be a tamarind smoothie, or something delicious. Homemade bread. All the time. Woo, he fed me. Gosh, he fed me so much. This is when I could eat three giant meals a day. And now I eat one small meal a day. We change as we grow older. And this is B. Johnson. And this man right here, he slowed me down. He slowed me down. He made me, he's like, you're worth slowing down for. You gotta look around. You gotta take it in. And then he encouraged me to be the best person that I could be. He said, no, you got this. You got this. You got this. Whenever I would have a challenge, you got this. He would teach me what's important. He taught me how to keep a secret. Loose lips sink ships. He said, you know why a password is secret? I said, why? He goes, because you don't tell anybody. Very funny, that kind of thing. He would teach me these things. He said, can you keep a secret? And I would say, yeah. And he goes, so can I. It was very funny. It was one of the things he taught me. Very important. And this was before passwords were a big deal. These are good thoughts. And it's about integrity. Mr. B. Johnson, as a mentor, taught me integrity, which is to be respectful and responsible when I was near him and when I was not near him, when I was around the world, on the other side of the world. Oh, that sound I just made is thinking about how much he means to me. B. Johnson. Because here's how Mr. Johnson has really played in my life and how your mentor is going to play into your life. Exact same way. This thought. And I get choked up telling you about it. I better stand up. Whenever I did anything anywhere, I would think this thought. What would Mr. Johnson think? I would think, would he be proud of me right now? Like right now, he is so proud of me. See, and this is how much of an influence a mentor can have on our life. A mentor will bring out our best qualities, and they will polish them and shine them and bring attention to them. And they will show us our worst qualities, and they say, are you sure that's you? Are you sure that's how you want people to think about you? Or this, P-U, P-U. Something stinks, and it sure isn't me. Like that's communicating something with humor. Just the idea of letting B. Johnson down, here I go again, sharing this with you, gets me choked up. Because B. Johnson has been my mentor, and having B. Johnson, having my mentor proud of me, is one of the most important things in the entire world. And this is the importance of having a mentor. Now, B. Johnson's wife is Brenda Johnson, and Brenda Johnson has had a phenomenal impact on my life as well. She's a friend, and at times she's been a mentor. Like, that's a powerful role. It's not about if a person is a man or a woman or a man, or tall or short, or light-skinned or dark-skinned, or this religion or that religion, or this wealthy or this poor. Is their heart good? Do they care about you? And do you care about them? One of the most important things about being a mentor and having a mentor relationship, because it is a relationship. Mr. B. Johnson and I have a relationship. You and I have a relationship. And here it is. This word is just critically important. This beautiful word right here. I bet you probably even figured out what it is. I trust Mr. Johnson, I trust my mentor, and he trusts me, and they trust me. I trust my mentor, and they trust me. My mentor certainly didn't always trust me. My mentor, however, trusted that they would trust me. My mentor trusted that one day they would trust me. My mentor trusted that what they saw in me was worth investing in. And so a mentor is somebody who sees you for who you really are. If you're a superhero, if you're a supervillain, Lex Luthor, talk about Lex Luthor, somebody mentored them. Maybe Lex Luthor maybe Thanos just needed some love as a baby. Maybe. I always like when I'm with students, I always tell them, when I'm in classrooms, in the before, I would say, if you are a superhero, I want you to be the best superhero that you can be. And this is me having a mentor relationship with you. If you're a superhero, I want you to be the best superhero that you can be. And if you're a supervillain, you need to find a mentor besides me. And if you're a supervillain, I want you to be the best supervillain that you can be. But I want you to know that my friends like you, all of us are out here being the best superheroes we can be. So if you're going to bring it, bring it. Because we're out here working to make the world the best place it can be for everybody. I found that some people that think they're supervillains are actually superheroes who just had a bad time. I found people that thought that they had no hope, that they had no chance, that they had made mistakes that they couldn't overcome. I have found students who thought that they had made mistakes they couldn't overcome. Students, that's a kid thinking that there's some mistake that they made they couldn't overcome. My Google, I've been through the military. I've met people who have killed other people, sometimes by mistake. It happens. This is life. This is a real thing I'm sharing with you. And I want you to know that they found the most precious thing in the entire world. They found redemption. That means that they were able to get over whatever mistake they made. And if a person who's been through the worst possible mistake that they could possibly make can find redemption, you can find it. Because your mistake is probably not that big. If you made a mistake, a lot of times our mistakes are like, here's a great mistake. Cheating on a test is a great mistake. Have you made that mistake before? I did. I made that mistake. Did I get away with it? Sometimes yes and sometimes no. And then I realized I wasn't cheating anybody but me. Did I ever steal anything when I was you? I did. And you know who caught me? My mom. And I was ashamed. The one person that I didn't want to let down. And that moment changed me. I said, never again. And I don't need to. There's nothing in the world worth losing my integrity. There's a funny saying, there's things worse than death. Have you heard that saying? There's things worse than death. That's a funny saying because it doesn't seem like there's anything worse than death, but there is. It's living a miserable life where you're not proud of yourself and people, and you've let people down who love and care about you consistently, not just once or twice or even 3 times. People can I've had people who have let me down again and again and again, but I love them and I care about them and I support them. And you know what? I will tell you that most of the people that have let me down before come back around. Not that they come back around and say, I'm sorry, it'll never happen again, because that's just talk. They've proven themselves. They've shown that they have what it takes. This conversation that you and I are having right now, it's not just teaching. This is mentoring. I did not come here knowing this stuff. I got to learn this stuff the hard way. I got to make the mistakes. You will get to make mistakes as well. And my mentoring to you is very simple. You can get over it. You can find your center again. You can get back to your heart, to who you are. Even when we make mistakes, we think are really big and really terrible. And some of our mistakes are really big and are really terrible and should take a while to overcome. But most mistakes are not like that. That's very few mistakes. Most mistakes are not like that. You will be surprised to find how human beings, how all of us make mistakes. And we all have to learn how to live with it. And to learn from them and to grow from them. And that's the advantage of having a mentor. B. Johnson is not a great mentor because B. Johnson never made mistakes. B. Johnson is a great mentor for me because B. Johnson has made mistakes. And sometimes he didn't make mistakes. He learned from mistakes without having to make them. He saw other people make them. Those are great. That's terrific if you ask me. When we can do that, when we can learn from other people's mistakes, it's really not so difficult. When we see other people make mistakes and we learn from it without having to make those mistakes, like making the mistakes of hurting someone else, that's not a mistake I want to make. When have you ever been hurt by somebody else? Did you know that sometimes when people have been hurt by other people, they go and hurt people? But that's not the way to do it. You know, when I was you, to be honest, since me and you were having this conversation, I was hurt when I was a younger person. I was hurt really badly. And I guess I could have grown up to be a supervillain. I mean, I guess because I had what people call a tough childhood. There's those quotation marks. Remember, these are quotation marks. B. Johnson. Because his real name we call him B, but it's probably, I don't even know what Mr. B. Johnson's name is, even after how long I've known him. And we call him B. And so we say B. Mr. B. Johnson. That's not his legal name, but we call him B. And so even though I had a tough childhood, because we say that, tough childhood is the thing people say when they go through difficulty as a child. You know what inspired me? Remember how my first word was Batman? Batman. Famous in my family. Batman, Bruce Wayne, young Bruce Wayne. You know the story. In the story, his parents are robbed and the robber kills his parents, unfortunately. Sad but true. But that's the Batman story. I'm not making that story up. Everybody knows it. It's just how the story goes. Did Batman become a bad person? Like, theoretically, he could have. He had every reason in the world. He had the excuse. It would have been an excuse, right? It would have excused him from being, Bruce Wayne would have been excused from being a bad person because he had a tough childhood. Nope. He could have been excused, I guess. For sure. In fact, we excuse people. We understand. But he rose above those circumstances to become, in the story, Batman. And that's how it is for me. Like, why would I want anybody to have tough times or difficult times? I think I went through the difficult times to share with you how to get through difficult times. How cool is that? So if I didn't go through the difficult times, me and you wouldn't be having this conversation right now, and anything I said wouldn't necessarily be the truth, and it is. It is the truth. You've got this. You got this. This is how I know this. I had it, and if I can do it, you can do it for sure. For sure. That's certainty. I'm super excited about that. That's why I know how powerful you are. That's why I know you could accomplish anything. Because if we can overcome the hardships, then imagine what we can do when we put our mind to not just overcoming hardship, but achieving goals. Think about this. Like, we use a lot of energy to overcome hardships. That's difficulties. Like, things that are holding us back. Most people are not born with money. Most of us don't have money. That's a hardship. Some of us, when we're growing up, get to work for food and we get to work to pay for our shelter. Even kids, that's hardship. So imagine if we take that energy after we've overcome hardship and then we struggle, we push, we fight, we work a little harder for success. We're not surviving, we're thriving. See, it's the same energy. It's important to survive so that we can thrive, not to stay surviving. We survive so we can thrive. Like, if you're in the ocean and like you're out there sailing and you're trying to sail the world on your own and the boat flips and you're out there and you're in the water and then you've got to figure out what to do because, it's the ocean and a lot of stuff could happen out there. And you figure out how to right the boat, how to right it, how to get it, if it's a sailboat, how to get it back up so the sail is standing up. You figure out how to do that on your own, and people have. And you get the boat sailing again. You move from surviving to thriving. It's like a dab. Got it? So it's the same energy. Like, look at all the work it took for that person to get out of the ocean and raise their sailboat back up. They're using that same energy and that same focus to sail now. They're not surviving anymore. They already did that. Now they're thriving. They're on their path. Got it? You start to see it now? It's cool, right? You got this. And once you overcome whatever difficulties or challenges in your life, you're going to use that authority and that strength and that power and that experience to constantly be successful. The difficulties, the hardships, the energy and lessons we take from surviving is what we take to thriving, is what we bring to thriving. If you don't have somebody like me in your life, look for somebody in your life to support you emotionally, to support you enthusiastically, to support you positively, creatively, who believes in you, who sees you for what you are, how amazing you are. Find that person. They're not there to pay your way. That's not what a mentor does. A mentor looks around inside you and says, I see a diamond. It's right there. It might be in the rough, but let's shine it up. Let's polish it up. And let's make this diamond into a gem. And that diamond is you. That gem is you. Or ruby. Or amethyst. Yeah. Super cool. Mentors make the difference. I would not be here today without B. Johnson. So even as a student, especially as a student, you can find somebody who mentors you. You ever have a teacher who thinks you're amazing? That's a luxury. That's a blessing. Not everybody gets that even. So when we find people that want us to succeed, surround ourselves with people who want us to succeed, and we will go as far as we can imagine and even farther. This is the advantage of having a mentor. If you didn't know the word before today, now you know it and you're going to carry it. Woo! I am grateful for this conversation. Thank you for listening. Mentors, listen to all the different people who are astronauts. Google astronaut mentor and watch what comes up. Google famous astronaut mentor. Google variations of that. Who was name an astronaut who you love and the word mentor. Who was Sunita Williams' mentor? Who was Neil Armstrong's mentor? Who was Sally Ride's mentor? And if it doesn't work the first time, keep on trying until you find the information you're looking for. I'm going to put some link to some really good talks about mentors in the notes on this one. This is one of the most important conversations you and I have had. Your attention in this has been phenomenal. I appreciate it. Look, all right, so there's some other stuff to talk about. There's some like, oh, I love this little thing I got, this little mushroom. I love it. It's cool, right? And by the way, speaking of mushrooms, so remember those mushrooms that, I think that we've covered the material about mentors. If you have any questions, message me on the platforms. I'm Googleable. It's easy to get a hold of me. I mentor as best as I can, and then I work to get you connected with the people who are going to help you succeed wherever you are, okay? And this is why I have you write letters to people. You never know who turns into your mentor, like actual handwritten letters. So check this out. All right. Baka baka. All right, so remember those mushrooms? That's what they turned into. I'm going to put those in the soil, and I bet they grow back again. I just wanted to show you. Okay, mushrooms are amazing, and we're going to use mushrooms in space to grow food, to grow materials, also algae. Mushrooms and algae are going to be a big deal. So also, while I've got you here, check this out. So remember the strawberry that we got the seeds from? I got a whole bunch while you were away. That is the strawberry. It's got a little mold on it. But these are all the strawberry seeds that are drying out, and we're going to plant them. Oh, there's a hair. There's a hair. That's probably mine. We don't need that. And then I wanted to show you this. Underneath here, more space blackberry seeds. Yes, it is true. I ate a whole pint of blackberries and saved the seeds. So we're going to try this again with another. We're going to get better at it. We're going to grow some strawberries, space mushrooms, and space blackberries. And I just wanted you to see. Okay? Cool. All right. So, paka paka. Paka paka. Hey, paka paka. Paka paka. How does this? There it is. Thanks, Baka Baka. All right. I got all these kind of cool questions. There's a person I got to give a shout out to today, especially. Her name is Laure Cardenas. Laure Cardenas. Laure Cardenas. And she was at, what is the school in Medellin? Medellin, Colombia. She interviewed me for a talk, and I gave a talk in Medellin, Colombia last year, and it was very successful, and she was one of the journalists there who interviewed me, and let's see, it's Universidad Bolivarian. Pontifical Bolivarian Universidad. And Universidad Pontificia Bolivariana. Pontificia Bolivariana. Universidad Pontificia Bolivariana. Universidad Pontificia Bolivariana. Yeah. And so that's an amazing school, and I hope to teach there again someday. Trust me, I do, because I love it. And I would love if Colombia had its own space program, because South America gets to go to space. So Laure Cardenas interviewed me, and so she messaged me today, and she was feeling a little rough because the pandemic is having a major impact in Colombia, and it has affected her life. And so she messaged me, and I got to have a conversation with her and encourage her in the exact same way that we're having a conversation right now. It totally plays to mentorship like we're talking about. She's probably got amazing mentors. She would have like Oprah as a mentor. She's like phenomenal. So that's very cool. My friend Akshat, I've told you about him before. Now he is really going for it. He's in 9th year in India. I think in India, I'm pretty sure in India. And he is really pestering me about quantum physics and how to become an astronaut and all of these different things. And I'm patiently encouraging him. I appreciate Akshat messaging me. It's just cool. So there you go. Vijaya Salem had graduated 10th year and is on his way to college, and he got a special certificate. That was really cool. So all of these amazing people have been messaging me. I got a new person. What is this person right here? Jasman Deep Singh Gill, and I think he is in Pakistan, and he wants to be an astronaut. And he's a little older. I'm going to start working with him and start encouraging him. Start mentoring. You see how it works? See, there's all of these relationships developing. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be the mentor for the entire time. It could be. It means that I'm going to work to find somebody who's going to help them succeed where they are to achieve their goals. It's funny because so many people ask me, how can I work at NASA? NASA is not the most direct path. The most direct path is getting to tomorrow, and then the day after that, and then the day after that. And then suddenly you'll see all the way down the road, 10 years old past, and you're achieving your goals in a way that you never imagined possible, one day at a time. This is how it works. So these are some of the folks that have been messaging me. Let me make sure there's not one more. I did get some on Twitter as well. And I like to give shout outs. Umar Mokhtar. Oh gosh, Umar's making me crazy. He is in Kashmir, and Umar is a student, and he is studying mechanical engineering. And he was like, I want to talk to a famous person. I'm like, Umar, relax. There's no hurry. It doesn't work that way. If you haven't got credentials yet and you go and talk to somebody because you want to be an astronaut like Umar does, they're going to say the same thing that I'm saying. You get to develop skills. It's one day at a time. And then you get to get to go where you're going. But do you ever met students that are like, I want to go now. I want it now. You ever see Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? I want it now. What was her name? Let's see. Golden Goose Now Wonka. Her name is Veruca Salt. Who can forget Veruca Salt? I want it now. Yeah, but now it doesn't work like that. And it doesn't have any value then, because easy come and easy go. Umar, you got to do it one day at a time. Just like the rest of us, you get to do it that way. And I think that is it. I think that's all the people. Shout out to Taylor Richardson, Astro Starbright. I'm going to see if she'll be on the show. She helped a couple of friends who are astronauts. Oh, she is a person who's working to grow up to be an astronaut, and she helped a couple of astronauts this weekend. That's amazing, right? She's provided support for some astronauts as a student. See what's possible? She always keeps in mind, I know this about her. Taylor Richardson always keeps in mind, how can I help? And I want you to think about that all the time. Not about it. I want you to keep it in your mind so that you figure it out, because this is going to get you where you want to go. How can I help? Oh my goodness gracious. We had a really serious conversation today. I have some really serious conversations with you, and we talk about some very mature subjects, if you ask me. They're regular life subjects. They're regular life. They're life as we know it and love it. And yet here we are talking about them. And it is really important to me that you're here. It's not so much that it's important to me that you watch me. It's important to me that you get your goals and you achieve your goals. And it's important to me that I'm delivering something of value to you to achieve your goals. That has meaning to me. That has value. That you're here validates my work. The real validation is when you grow up and achieve whatever goals that you're after. That's going to be the best thing in the world to me. I am proud of you right now, and I am going to be proud of you for my entire life. I think you're amazing. In the same way that Mr. B. Johnson has supported me, I feel that way about you. I want you to keep up the work and know forever that there is somebody out here who believes in you always. Every day I want you to move forward with that. You keep that in mind. What would Mike Mongo do? You got it? You are awesome. You are amazing. You are beautiful. I celebrate you. Keep up the good work. One day at a time. In the words of my people, pow, pow, pow.